Mr. Joseph, let's begin with the first question. As Chief of the Territory, what are your views on the level of resilience of Kalinago farmers toward the destructive climatic events we've had so far?
Well, I'm no longer the chief, you know. I'm a former chief, one of the past chiefs. My concern there is what is happening now. What is happening now is a result of what happened a few years ago. In the height of the banana industry, the territory was one of the highest number of small farmers in the island. Because quarter acre to maybe 5 acres for the largest. So since the demise of the banana industry, we've never had a crop that could have filled in the vacuum. So we have now a lot of farmers who are doing subsistence farming and only a few commercial farmers. Now, what is important to note is the farming practices that were done even before we started doing monocropping. This is a banana industry. Before that, it's part of the Kalinago culture.
Yeah.
So some of the foods that were planted and maintained, like the various yams and the planting during certain times. So I think this has continued with some people, some farmers. So there's always food in the territory. Well, it's an unofficial thing, but I think people are concerned about the food security. I wish that it was a more general thing in the minds of many farmers, or every farmer, for example, because the concern for me is food security. And that should be for the island too, but not only food security, but also food sovereignty. So I think that it's like a cultural practice, something that's been practiced for a very long time, and so there's a high level of resiliency, and this is something that I'm concerned about at this time, because it's something that every farmer in the territory should have in mind, that being able to plant food that could withstand any weather in any season. But we're very much concerned about the weather conditions, and particularly the very dry spells. That could be a disaster for some people. Have you noticed any growth within the local economy here over the past few years? Few years meaning what period?
I would say the last decade. To tell you the truth, the time I saw real growth in the territory was at the height of the banana industry. Yeah, so there was growth because, like I said, we had a very high number of small farmers, and the banana industry was a ready market. You know, and we had an area that we could sell bananas in boxes back in the territory. So during the 80s, maybe to middle 90s, yeah. Because not only we had bananas, but we were copra producers as well. So we produce a lot of copra in the territory, and there are many more coconut trees than persons in the territory. But, we've seen a demise in both copra production, the closing of DCP at the time, and the impact of Hurricane Maria on the rest of the trees. But the story of the banana industry, all of us know about it. Speaking to your farmers recently, I see many are concerned about the current market strategy for selling their produce. Is that something that you are aware of as former chief?
Well, yes, I'm fully aware of that, because I spoke with the banana industry, and I always speak about it, because it's not that we a little bit we suffer nostalgia of the banana industry, but it's the impact it had, and it has left us with the banana mentality, marketing mentality, because you expect to take your crop to a certain place and it would sell. So we keep on waiting for somebody to come to take the crop off our hands. And we do not think that it's our responsibility to do some market research, find, who is buying what at what time and that kind of thing. We also need to look at find out the conditions of what is happening in the areas that our hucksters sell to. Antigua, what is happening in Antigua? Is Antigua a place where nobody is farming? Or is it a place where people are farming, and what are they farming? And what time do their crops become available? So we can position ourselves to take advantage of what is happening in the other islands because we sell to some of the hucksters. But also too, we have a problem in that we do very small scale farming. And that poses a problem for finding markets because while there are markets, we do not have enough quantity. So we have to start thinking of really start thinking of the market requirements. And three things come to mind is quality, quantity, and consistency of our produce. It goes for everything. And it goes for agricultural produce in any part of the island, including us in the territory. So we have to start thinking about that because I remember when I served as chief, I got a call saying, can the territory provide a 20-foot container of ground provisions every week? I had to say no. Of course we can, because we have the land space, there are a number of people farming, but we're not organized to the level where we'll be able to grow and produce a 20-foot container of produce from the territory.
So that one of your main recommendations would be to increase supply by farmers uniting and becoming organized in the territory.
Being organized in the territory. I mean, there are attempts to organize farmers, but that has not really worked because also again, history plays itself and negatively on people's mind because we had farmers cooperatives before that didn't really work and people lost money, so there's some level of mistrust in coming together. So can't blame people for that. People still they still have the experience, so this is what we have as a result. But this is the problem that we have. But I am a farmer myself, and I do not really have any major problem to dispose of my crops. Yes, we suffer. All of us suffered across the country when not too long ago when plantains, were just ripening all over the country. Yes, I mean, all of us suffered. And I also had tons of cucumber that I had to just leave on the farm. I had tons of seasoning paper that I leave on the farm. I mean, so there are times when you do suffer, yes. But other than that, yeah, you can sell it out the produce.
So let me ask you as a farmer as well, what recommendations, I mean, you pointed to one where you said that farmers should probably take up the responsibility to look at other markets and analyze it and see where they can fit in, basically. Are there any more recommendations you may have for farmers in the Kalinago Territory?
Yes, well, we sell to hucksters out of the territory. So maybe somebody from the territory, of the young persons who come together and start buying produce from the territory to sell on the islands as well.
Okay.
But importantly, or most importantly, we too as producers, farmers in the territory, should want to encourage that and ensure that we sell to those persons who will be coming from the territory, as opposed to continue selling from outside of the territory. And so it doesn't encourage and not give our young persons a chance to get into the trade. So that is a challenge, something we have to watch out and give some serious consideration to.
Thank you. Are you aware of or leading any efforts to improve energy sufficiency in the territory? Is that something that's important to the Kalinago people?
Yes, it is very important, and we have had projects that didn't really work.
Okay.
In my government office, we have developed a solar project to provide solar electricity for that we would sell to DOMLEC. Wow. And also it had one component of it that provided electricity to persons that are off grid, that are distant from the from the lines. But Maria destroyed it, and the administration that was there at the time made no efforts to restore it. I spoke to an engineer who told me he paid a visit to the site and it could have been restored to 60% of its capacity, but no effort was done. And this was a $1.4 million project that got this rate. So because in my mind, I wanted to make the territory the first community, not only in Dominica, but the entire Caribbean, to be dependent, totally dependent on alternative energy sources. So we could have been leading, the territory could have been leading
a milestone
in this area.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it did not really work.
Wow. Well, have you spoken currently to your successors about that?
Well, we had the opportunity, but quite a few of the solar panels are still stored in a container from St. Maria. Nothing has been done, and so I guess nothing might be done.
Is this something you would want to see in your lifetime?
Well, certainly, I looking at my own household and see how I could step off the grid and totally powered by solar energy, and even the possibility of having a spalling turbine in the area.
Thank you for that. Do you believe that your people, the Kalinago people in particular, are fully aware of the reality of negative climate phenomena?
Well, yes. I mean, those who are not really paying attention and think, well, it doesn't act on God how things happen, I guess they become more aware of that. Yeah, and increasingly so, because there's a lot of talk as well. We are not isolated from the rest of the country, from the rest of the world. So we can hear and we can now understand that climate change impacts on everybody's life, but also comes from the actions and lifestyles of countries, persons. So we have a role to play, no matter how insignificant we feel that role is, because if everybody could play a role, then definitely we would expect some change. Presently, there's a project that's ongoing in the territory. It's funded by the UNDP, and one component of it is reforestation. And I've been hired to assist in that area, and we have planted quite a few trees across the territory. Some of it is forest trees, some is trees of economic value, mahogany, and some of them is just tree crops, cuckoo and avocado, and we're looking for more plants to plant within the next few months during July for this project.
And that's ongoing with UNDP?
It's ongoing, yeah.
Okay. From a global point of view, Mr. Joseph, who really is to blame for the increase in climatic disasters to small island developing states like Dominica and its people? As you know, the Kalinago people did not bring this level of climatic destruction on themselves, which occurs from time to time, yet they, along with the rest of Dominicans, must deal with the brunt of these disasters. Where's the climate justice?
Well, we cannot tell you, well, stop and drop us off. So we part of what is going on. So in spite of the fact that we're not the major culprits in that area, we have to stay there and bear the full impact of it. I think the emerging farming patterns over the years, I think we too, while we're not the major players, but we too are contributing in a small scale, because we have to look at the type of refrigerators that we have and some of the things that we use at our homes, the fertilizers that we use on our farms. But the major players are the countries in major economies,
fossil fuel.
Yeah, consume fossil fuel. We have to space we have represent our own particular lifestyle. What do? To be non-contributors, and we cannot simply stay and blame the more developed countries and not paying attention to what we are doing.
So you're saying that while they are to receive, these bigger countries are to receive blame because scientifically they are the biggest contributors to the destruction of the ozone layer, which kind of regulates the climatic atmospheres globally. So they're actually doing a lot of destruction, but in the same time you're saying that we as island developing states and as people can do our own part to protect ourselves the best way we can.
So we should not be contributing too much. We should be ensuring that what we do is not to reduce carbon emissions.
I've spoken to some people, within the scientific field, like Steve Maxime, a great guy, who's a scientist. I think he lives in the Caribbean currently. And, he was saying that a mechanism might need to be put in place to have these bigger countries who are contributing to climate change compensate or assist, small island developing states like us to build mitigation tactics and technology to kind of withstand these type of storms. Because every year, you and I, we both see the intensity of these things increasing. It poses a danger to us and to our livelihoods, especially as farmers. I mean, would that be something you would be interested in seeing?
Well, certainly, because they are responsible for some of what happened in the Caribbean during colonization. The deforestation, division of the forest and everything else. So the have left some of the islands totally bare. Unfortunately for us, we still have some of our forests not intact, and so we do not fall in that category that was totally destroyed like some of the other islands in the Caribbean. But I really think this is a hell of a task to get them to provide compensation, because we've been talking about preparation for quite a long time now, and there's some resistance. So I am not sure how successful we will be, but definitely they are the major contributors to what is happening now, and they take responsibility. Because these small islands are the most vulnerable. And then as a result of that, we suffer the most. However, what I can say is anything that is gone, the rest of the world suffers. You might not see in what shape or form is coming, but definitely we have to do it right. So if we have to do something here, for example, in Dominica, the rest of the world will suffer. Maybe not now, but according to Caribbean, in time to come.
Time to go. Mr. Joseph, I want to thank you personally for taking the time out and really imparting some words of wisdom from the East. I really appreciate that. It was a pleasure.
A pleasure.